All right, here's our first video. I'm Mark Ladwig. We're going to do blade basics. I already told you in the first video I'm a skate technician since 1999. I've been doing it for myself, my pair partners, others, all the way to the Olympics. I've been in the industry since 2012, and I'm always getting more and more information from skaters and coaches and other skate technicians. And I'm still kind of a skater and just normal folk, but I think we need greater education in everything out there. So what we're going to cover today is know the parts of your blade, how the blade interacts with the ice, and planning sharpening success. Now, first thing, you see toe plate here in the front. It's usually the bigger of the two plates of the blade. Heel plate, smaller, it's at the back, obviously. Now, size, you'll notice from the very tip of the front all the way to the heel, that's going to be the size of your blade. It's measured in inches, so it's not in millimeters. So if you're ever ordering a blade and you're wondering why is this a 9 and that's an 8.5, it's inches. Now, next is the stanchion. Post 1, post 2, post 3, and other brands, some of them are coming in with different designs and they've got 4 posts. So each one of those is called a stanchion, and that'll tell you the stanchion height is actually from the plate down to the edge of the ice. That's a stanchion height. So stanchion, there it is, stanchion, and then the height from the toe plate all the way down to the ice. Now here at the back you got the tail, some people call it the heel, and then the runner. The runner will be whatever material is touching the ice. As you can see here, this is a 2-part construction. It's got aluminum and a stainless steel. Now at the very bottom here, primary rocker, spin rocker. So from about the middle post or about where the heel plate is on other ones to the forward, that's your spin rocker. This is a circle measured in inches. It's often very curved. And at the back you have the primary rocker measured in feet. We'll get to that again later. Now, we have the teeth, picks, rakes up at the front. The top one from the ice going up is usually called the king pick. A lot of people say that, a lot of people don't. I mean, sometimes they just call all of them teeth. At the bottom, it's pretty universal, called the anchor pick or the toe pick, the bottom pick, kind of how to do it. Now, the non-skatable zone, I actually brought a good example here. Now, you'll see right there behind the toe pick, let me get the light in the way. See where it goes from the sharpening, which is dark, to that shiny part behind the toe pick? That zone from there to there, right in there, that's that non-skatable zone. But it's kind of it's misnomer because you actually skid here. There is contact with the ice there. So it's not really that you're not skating on it or not interacting with it. It's just, it's not often a sharpened area. Now, as a blade gets old, you can get a hump in there or a bump. A seasoned professional can help take that out, but be very delicate. You're better off just leaving it alone than messing with it, unless you got somebody who really knows what they're doing, how to bring it back to the original shape of your blade. We're going to deep dive now into toe picks. We have straight picks here. You notice how they kind of go across like that. And we have cross-cut toe picks. If you take your hands, fold them together, and put your hands up, you'll notice from the side, that's kind of that cross-pick shape. Now, I illustrated a little different. Notice how the cross picks point, when you look at the side profile versus straight picks, kind of show you how they interact with the ice. Now, they don't all interact at the same time with the ice the same way, but generally from coaches and what skaters are telling me, those that really have the straight cut, your more rental skates, the beginner, it actually has a great value for people that have a straighter entry and that seem to pick, then rotate. Now, if you're coming in with a lot of angular momentum, you pick and almost spin off the ice, and you'll see a lot of our elite skaters are doing that. That's where the cross pick pattern, you can see it's got so much more grip, so much more instant contact and slides into the ice. It's almost, as the patenter says of the cross pick, it's almost self-cleaning. Like, you need the grip because you're turning so fast, it needs to grip instantly and then be able to slip out. Whereas over here, there's time that it penetrates and then you want to easily be able to pivot. And you'll notice that there's just a couple of touch points versus many touch points when you look at the blade. Now back to that primary rocker, that point from the middle to basically the heel. Remember we said it's measured in feet? So right here, we have our 8-foot rocker and our 7-foot rocker. And you can see not a huge difference, but skaters can often tell the difference. And as we saw before, remember, the more rockered it is, the more it's going to roll. So if you want more stability, more speed, the flatter you would go. And then again, here's a hockey demonstration from a 7-foot to a 13. Hockey players will use different ones as it goes along the blade. They kind of measure it out from the center point forward and center point back, depending on if they're forwards or defense. And they'll use all these rockers from 7 feet to 13. Figure skating at the primary rocker usually stays at a 7 or an 8 foot. There's some variations in there, but at the back it's always like that. Now, like your favorite color, you should know your hollow. Now, this is an inch. That's usually what a goalie skate is, but it goes all the way up to 3/8 of an inch. Now, the fun part about that is it tells you how you're going to grip the ice. You know, the flatter it is, the less bite it has, but the more speed and slide you get. And up here at the front, more grip, but more bite. So it's actually kind of sticking into the ice. It'll slide, but it kind of sticks a little bit more. And the reason is actually, as you can see the 3 states graph here, at that point where, say it's 32 degrees and at sea level, you got ice. Now, the moment you step on that one little space, pressure spikes and you come up here and it becomes a liquid. So this point now is liquid, where all that pressure of your body comes through here. I love physics, it's amazing. So all your body is right here and pressing down, and the pressure right here of the ice went flying through the roof, and now it's a liquid. And so the fun thing about that is that as soon as you glide past, pop, it goes back to normal and it freezes. And that's why you get those frozen channels and you see the ice and you can see where you've been, because you've basically hyper melted the ice, slide off, and then it freezes instantly because the pressure pops right back. All right, so now, how do you know if your blade's been sharpened? You can often tell if you get it right out of the box. Usually it's coarse and bumpy, it's oiled, and that's to protect a blade being sent to you or shipped to you. Always best to get when you get a new pair of skates, to go get them sharpened by a professional, have them looked at, and figure out your hollow like we were just talking about. You might be better off. Most skaters that I've been running into get anywhere from 9/16 to a ½ inch. Dancers tend to get a little deeper. They want a little bit more of that lean, deep edge when they're really wanting to bite in it, and they'll sacrifice a little bit of that fly across the ice for a deeper grip. The other thing is, once you got your skates and you're skating in them, you might step on them. You might notice a nick. There's this white little dot you kind of see as I was tilting the blade. Nicks will show up as like a star at the edge of the blade. If you're turning it from side to side, you'll see it on the very edge there. You run your finger gently. Don't press on it, but if you gently touch the eye, it might feel bumpy across there. You'll hit a flick. Nicks definitely will slow you down. You want to get those taken care of. Now, lost edges, instead of just being a point like a nick, a lost edge will be a long area that's just feels rounded, feels like a butter knife. Those are just best to get them resharpened. I mean, oftentimes there's grates on the floor at ice rinks. Kids come off and they'll step on it, or they'll step on a penny and slide a little bit. That's where you'll lose a whole edge, and you need a sharpening to get it redone. Now, plan for success. This is the last thing that was really important here. I always knew what my competition, my test date, my whatever it was, the most important thing, and I knew for me, I liked about a week into my new sharpening. So I was always backdating. So if I have a competition this Saturday, I got my skate sharpened the Saturday before. So I have the whole week to skate in it, get used to it, and then I'm ready for success. So then backtracking from that Saturday, I would get it done every about 3 weeks. So I go 3 weeks back from that. So now I knew sharpen, feel good training, sharpen 1 week, competition. So train for your success. Now, if you're a basic skilled skater, usually you're going to do it about every class period, and that helps to prevent rust or any of the nicks or all the other stuff that's going on. So every 6 to 8 week class schedule you're doing, get it just sharpened each time. It rehabs it up, gets you going. That first class is always an intro class. Hey, I'm the new teacher. What do you guys do? Show me what you did. And so you can pretty much acclimate as a beginning skater. Intermediates, I wouldn't go more than a month and a half without a sharpening. That means that as an intermediate skater, you're already skating 3 or 4 sessions a week, maybe a little extra time. You got lessons. You're skating enough where you need to get it done. And then as the elite skater, I know everyone has their own schedule. They kind of get into their own groove of how they like it. Some skaters don't want to get it done for months at a time. Others, I knew a skater that got it done every week. So every year they bought a new blade, because as sharpen, they're like tires. They wear out. The more you sharpen it, the more you skate on it, the more it's going to wear out. I mean, nothing lasts forever, so. Thank you to everyone who made this possible. Quick little list, coaches everywhere, retailers that I run into, and skate techs with Soda Skates, Blade Master, John Harmata for the image, Jackson Skates. So thank you, everybody, and look forward to next week.